Good morning, what's going on, guys? Back with another video. I'm here in the truck. It's filthy. I need to get it washed, but before I do, I wanted to go check out an off-road vehicle area. Not necessarily for the truck itself, though. I might take a couple of trails while we're out there to see how they are. But I just wanted to get an overall idea of how far away this place is, what it's like, and if it's worth taking the tractor to it, if it's something I could drive to, or if it's something I'm going to have to tow the tractor to. And I just wanted to check it out, and I figure I better go ahead and do that now before I wash the truck in case it gets a little dirty. Also, I wanted to do a follow-up on the cold air intake that I installed. I didn't think it had very much effect to the truck overall when I first was driving it, but I've changed my mind a bit on that. So once we get out on the road, I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so she's going to interrupt me again. All right, so when I first installed the cold air intake, I drove it around a bit.
A slight left turn.
Oh, shush, lady. I installed it. I'd just been driving around, taking the school has started. So most of my driving was just taking the kids to school, plus all the school districts around. You know, cops are out full force enforcing speed laws around school zones and everything when beginning of the school year. So I hadn't really driven the truck very hard, and I kept, you know, everything, RPMs was very low and just normal putting around traffic, and I did not notice much difference with the cold air intake. Once I actually got out on the highway though, or actually I was merging onto the highway and I first noticed this. For some reason, it now feels like the truck is turbocharged, and it's the strangest thing. I'll see, we've got a bit of open road here. I can show you what I'm talking about. I don't know how well it picks up on camera or not, but just cruising along. It's a pretty sweet truck on the back of here. Maybe we'll get a look at that while we're up here. But, you know, revving, normal. Then, right there, 3,000, it takes off. Strangest thing. So, anyway, gonna get back to driving after we get a good look at this truck right here. This thing looks pretty sweet. So, that thing is nice. Here we are. This is just the main road. It's not any of the trails or anything. It's getting off to where the trails are. Well, this is the trail system here. Said the beginning part is fairly easy, so I don't know. What do you say? Let's give it a shot. So far, still just in two-wheel drive. A bit of mud here. For this area, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the four-wheel drive just before we even get started. And hopefully we don't get stuck. Alright, so we got four-wheel drive on. Let's see what happens. Sure if there's even a trail here. Well, I guess we'll make one. Oh, that's a lot of scratching. And this is why I didn't want to take the truck. But I was here. The trails were right there. I couldn't resist. That is definitely something we'll have to come back with the tracker for, if the suspension for it ever comes in, because it is way too close to the ground right now to even get through this easy part without scraping the crap out of the bottom. All right, I had to switch back to four-wheel drive to get through this area. It is a little tough to get this big old truck through here. Just over the incline, a bunch of big rocks. But we made it up there. If you saw that big old fly, there's some huge flying critters around here. Oh, there's gonna be so many scratches and issues with this paint when I'm done in here. Goodness. Note to self, don't bring the truck back through here. Get the tracker fixed up and bring the tracker through here, because this is not good for my baby. Although the truck is handling everything quite well, but this is also considered the easy track. Hasn't been too difficult. Couple of spots that I thought it might get stuck in. One puddle I almost did, but did make it through. That was the one puddle I didn't catch on camera going through. And I'm guessing I don't know where these puddles come from, but there was a fish in that one that jumped out of the water in front of the truck as I was going through it. So I'm guessing there's a lake or a river nearby that overflows, and that's what's filling up all these little ponds and little lake. Well, it's called the inner lake area, so I'm assuming that means there are lakes. Used to be an old rock quarry or old coal mining town, and so there's a bunch of coal mines and stuff like that around here that and these were the roads, or this was the area before that. So I imagine some of the harder trails kind of get into the actual quarries where they were mining the coal, and this is just kind of the outskirts of it right here. But yeah, it's a pretty cool area so far. I'm not looking forward to getting out and checking out how my paint looks. I should be just about at the end of this trail, but we will find out here shortly. And hopefully I know how to read a map still. And if I do, then we're almost done with this trail and we should be pulling out in the parking area anytime now. But if not, I'm going on off on some other trail that I probably shouldn't be in this truck. I'm trying to hold the camera. If I hold the camera straight, there, that shows kind of the angle that we're at now. Trying to get down this embankment here. Our little so I guess that answers my question. Yeah, there's lakes all around through here. So I guess it gets flooded down in this area, and that's how the fish end up in the big puddles. Now we are going to go back up. So we made it off the trails. This park is pretty awesome. There's a ton of hiking trails, bike trails, everything's marked. Some off-road trails like you saw, but yeah, and that was the easy. It goes, they got 4 different levels of difficulty on the trails. Wanted to do a quick inspection on the truck, make sure nothing was leaking. You know, the 4-inch lift actually works out good. I bottomed out one time, and that was my own dumb fault, because I didn't realize going into the puddle just how much it would drop off, and then I did bottom out, but I think it was just the cross member there. Everything else looks good, no leaks, nothing loose. Some huge ass flies. I don't know what the hell that is, but it is huge. Anyway, yeah, I was there all over the place. But yeah, got a little muddy. It was definitely dirty before, so I'm glad I waited until after I came out here to wash it up. Back home, getting the truck cleaned up, and wanted to show you the aftermath. So, I don't know if you can tell, but from this angle it doesn't look too bad on this side of the truck. There's some scratches here. If I come show you from this angle, I don't know how well you could see that. This whole side is scratched up. There's some pretty deep ones, and this entire side is just scratched. Like, a lot of that could be buffed out, but there's some pretty thick ones like this here. That's going to require some paint correction. That's a lot more than the little bit I did on the side over there when I had the mirror knocked off. This side hasn't dried yet. I just finished spraying it down. I can see a couple of pretty heavy ones. Mirrors are pretty scratched up. So yeah, that wasn't a good idea to go through those trails just because of how narrow they were, and that I had trees and shrubs brushing up against the paint and ruining it. So gonna have to get that taken care of. Other than that, everything else looks great except one other casualty, which is this wheel here. It's got a pretty good gouge in it. I mean, other than that, there's a few scratches here and there, but did gouge that tire pretty good, or that wheel pretty good, and a whole lot of surface scratches that a lot of that might be able to get polished out, but that's probably going to require sanding and refinishing and stuff on a couple of those scratches. There you go. Things to be aware of when you are taking your F150 off-road. Make sure the trails are going to be wide enough that you're not scratching all the paint off your car. But aside from that, the truck handled great. Everything else on the truck handled great. So, very happy with how the truck performed. Not so happy about all the scratches, but we'll get those taken care of. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it if you did. And thanks in advance for hitting that like button. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.